area. A safe place to share stories, to learn information, and get to know each other. I become this person where I'm just more free or more open. I'll give you a quick story about how I met a guy there. My best experience so far. So I go to the Calgary bathhouse. It's a small little hut, basically, but it's home for now, and it's a place where I've become accustomed to. And so I met this guy. I came down from the hot tub, and yeah, I saw him, and I was like, yep, he's the one. So I walked up to him, and automatically he looked at me, and I was like, hey man. He's like, hey. And I was like, I was so nervous. I like that feeling because it makes me feel like, wow, I found the one. If I'm not nervous, that means, well, why am I here? What am I doing here? I want to be embarrassed. I want to make mistakes. I want to show that. And it's the weirdest thing. When you're nervous, you become more confident as soon as you push through it. I don't know how it works, but this is not a game of confidence. It's a game of loving yourself, truly. That's a whole other topic. So I talked to him, and I was like, hey man, and I told him I was nervous. And he sat down. He sat beside me, bigger set guy than me, tattoos, and he put his hand on my leg. I put my hand on his leg. I wasn't looking at him at all. I no eye contact, and I was already in love with his face. I know that sounds awkward, but I was. And I told him, like, God damn, you're good looking, I said. That's what I said, and that was it. And I just, yeah, I was so excited to pull off his towel, and he didn't pull it off, right? So he's like, let's get a, I said, you have a room? He's like, no. And I said, you want to get a room? He's like, yeah, sure. Oh, my heart started, like, it got hot. I was like, this is so exciting. So I got up, I followed him, and I could see his butt just through the towel. You get it. But it was more about, yeah, his body was perfect for me. But I like this guy because I don't know, I get excited and I can share that, and I get like antsy, but a good antsy, a fun antsy, and he was calm, and I like that. I mean, I don't want to be antsy with another antsy person. That's not who I am. I like that he was calm. He didn't care that I was totally being myself and screwing up, and he was like, hey, yeah, cool. I was like, yes, this is the one I wanted. When you get what you want, it's just no words. So I followed him we got a room, and finally he pulled off his towel. I was like, yes, fuck. It's so good, so good. I'm telling you, I don't even know how to explain it. This is why I go to the bathhouse. It's just such a warm feeling. I just felt, he just smiled big at me, but it wasn't just like some random guy in the street. This was the guy I wanted, you know? And I sat beside him, I told him, like, hey man, can we just sit for a moment? Because this is enough for me. And he's like, yeah, we can just sit. He looked at me like he's never seen anyone do that. But I really just wanted to sit. I wanted to be beside him. I just wanted to sit beside his presence. And I felt like my energy, I know it sounds nuts, but I felt like my energy sort of like moved. I wouldn't say that much, that's a little exaggerating, but I felt like and I just literally, like, it wasn't awkward, but it would have been awkward if you guys are watching this. It would have been awkward, but I just sat there and I didn't even look at him. I just stared ahead. I just felt it. I just felt like I did it. I don't know how to explain it. I just felt like I did it. I did it. This was just a personal thing. When you find what you want, you can do your own thing. But when I did, I was like, I did it. You know, I didn't say it out loud or in my mind. I just felt the moment. And he didn't care. He wasn't awkward. And then finally I looked at him, and we're both sitting there naked. And that warm feeling just it felt like a waterfall, just kept coming over me and over me and over me. And he knew, he was happy too. And then all of a sudden he touches me, he's like, you know, he's like, wow. And his eyes lit up, you know? And I was like, my heart lit up. I don't even give a shit my eyes are doing. My heart was getting hotter and racing even faster. And I touched him, I touched his body, and I loved his legs. I told him right off the bat. I was laughing because I couldn't believe I said it. I'm like, I love your legs. And I just said it out loud. It's like, who says that shit? Who says that? He laughed so hard. He started laughing. He fell back. And they're just such beautiful legs. I don't know. It's so stupid. This is how I get. And I know it sounds nuts and stupid, but I loved his legs. They were so muscular and huge. Oh, I remember how his leg came out. He put his leg over my leg. And my legs are like, I don't know if you can see my legs, but they're twice my legs. Almost twice. That's exaggerating. But a leg and a half. Maybe almost two. And I don't know. I didn't want to do sex. I didn't want to do sex with this guy. I liked his legs so much. And I was just touching his legs. And I was feeling his muscles. And he was laughing. And he's like, who are you? And he's like, he asked me, he's like, he wanted to know who I was. And all I wanted to know was to touch his body. So he kept talking to me and I didn't care. And I was just like, I just want to feel you up. It was hilarious. And we just connected. And we finally laid back before we even had sex. I laid beside him. And I laid there, I stared at the ceiling. And he laid beside me, I felt his shoulder, you know. And it was like two boys in the field, just staring at the stars. You know, I just met this guy, and it was like, it was nice. And he put his arm on my arm. And I loved his hands. I stared at his hands, I grabbed them, and I looked at them, and I was like, you have nice hands. And he's like, you have a nice face. And that sounds so stupid saying it out loud, but it was just like, time stopped, you know? It was just like me and him in this room, and it's that warm feeling. I just felt like this warm, hovering feeling was around us, and I just got sucked in it, like this vortex. And I was like, I love your hands, and I guess, fuck. And it's like I never got laid before. I felt like, you know, so nuts. And I felt like, oh my God. I got scared because my heart was beating faster, like it was leaving me almost. I felt like, oh my God, I never felt this before. All of a sudden I felt like, oh my God, am I in love? And I was like, this is not love. And then my mind was going nuts. And then he started touching me. And I had to, like, when he dropped his towel, I mean, like his cock just, like, it was like huge. So it was like, wow. Beautiful too. Like there's, you know, when you like one and you're like, whew, nice. But this one was like nice. So anyways, it was the connection that it was starting to overwhelm me. I've never had a connection that fast with someone. And yeah, literally I got close to him and then we started talking, and before I know it, I smelled his armpits. I don't know what I was doing. And he laughed. He's like, what are you doing? I was like, I love your smell. Fuck, it was so embarrassing. But I wasn't embarrassed, and he wasn't embarrassed either. And that's why it's so magical, because you don't tell anyone this shit ever. And I'm telling this on YouTube. And I smelled his armpits, and it smelled like my body. I mean, I was like in love with myself. It was nuts, like seriously. Anyways, I'm gonna stop it there because I don't want to sound conceited or, you know. But it was just this magical thing. I don't know. You all have your own experiences. That was so. Yeah. I hope you enjoyed my story, and